Hey guys, M4J3FFR135 here, and welcome back to Cities in Motion 2. And you've probably been wondering, where have I been for the last 2 weeks? There's no real easy way to answer this. I've had a lot of personal issues going on at the moment. I'm not going to go into any details about them because, like I said, they're personal, therefore private. But because those things have been going on, they've been stopping me from coming on here and recording because I've had other priorities in my life. I am trying to get back into the swing of things. I've been doing live streaming instead, which you may or may not have seen. I prefer to do that to making videos at the moment because of everything that's been going on. I can do impromptu streams, whereas when I've got a schedule for uploading videos. I did post on Twitter last week that there wouldn't be any videos. I don't know how many of you guys actually follow me on Twitter. If you don't, then I suggest you do. Follow me at M4J3FFR135, therefore you can see when I am streaming, when I'm not streaming, when videos go live, things like that. Excuse me, coughing already, that's not very good. That is where I've been, and I do apologise for that. People have asked me if I will do extended episodes to make up for it, and unfortunately I'm going to say no to that, because I don't feel it's a good solution making longer videos to make up for the fact that I couldn't make videos. I don't think that will do anyone any favours, really. There's people out there who don't want to sit there for half an hour, 40 minutes watching a video, and also the fact that for every video you watch that's an hour long, I've had to sit here for an hour making it, and my schedule's already tight as it is. So I'd rather make lots of episodes and sort of split them up into, well, you know what I mean. Instead of an hour episode, I'd rather have 2 half-hour episodes or 3 20-minute episodes, and then there's more content for you guys to actually enjoy, rather than just me sitting here tutting, sighing, and umming and ahhing. Right, this is actually attempt number 3 at recording this episode. The first time I recorded it, I had it down to a T. Everything was perfect, vocally and audio-wise. Video, didn't capture. Tried again, didn't capture. Tried again, game crashed. So really this is attempt number 7, but in terms of me actually sitting here and talking to you guys, it's attempt number 3. So what I did in my first attempt was I answered the comments that you guys had been putting on my videos since the last episode went live. So this is going all the way back to, you know, whatever episode you guys happen to comment on, whether it was episode 1 or episode 30, you know, or even episode 101. So the first one I'd like to start off with is episode 110. I had 2 comments, both from Chan Ian, so thank you very much for those comments. And in fact, one of the comments was from Sander, saying, I'd like to see you follow a person in the next video. And I did. That's where the episode called Terry came from, because it was about that point that things were starting to go wrong in my life, and I wanted to do a nice easy video, so that's why we tailed him for an episode, even though he decided to take a really, really weird route home. And I still don't really know why, but he did. And then we had 2 comments from Chan Ian. One saying that they enjoyed watching Sophie on different kinds of transport, which, I mean, I enjoyed it too, but because I was recording it for an episode, I just wanted her to get to where she wanted to go, because I didn't want you guys to get bored watching it. But it seems as though you enjoyed that episode, so I'm not too aggrieved by that. The other thing he said was, I think expanding the city southeast suburb is a pretty good idea. And I can't actually remember mentioning this in that episode, but this area here is part of the city. I do want to expand a little bit more. There's some areas here. It's a bit hilly on this section, but you could build some roads across there and see if it develops. And there's this huge flat area here. I have already said this, but I said it in attempt number 1, which of course didn't work. But I'd like to build a road from here that curves around and joins up again, maybe either there, or maybe even at halfway across, and then build loads of side streets off it, and again, just see what develops, because you never know. We've also got this area here and this area here, and I was very lazy. I just built this road going across like this, whereas really I could have done a little bit more. There's a tunnel somewhere around here as well, I believe. Or did I delete the tunnel? Oh no, it's over here. That's alright then. Might build a little tunnel actually connecting this part to over here. You never know. You never know. So that's those comments anyway on episode 110. now let's go to people commenting on episode 108. And I'm doing this in order of when these comments were put on my videos. So they're not in order of video, they're in order of chronology. So JT Transport commented on episode 108, which was the Hublink episode, saying, "This is fully underground. The Victoria goes overground for the depot." And I think the first time I said this, I'd say it a little bit more smug than I'm going to now. But it might not work, it might not count in your eyes, but this is the little overground section that takes the trains to the depot. Just like the Victoria line, it's only overground for the depot. That is a little bit of trivia that I did happen to know. But for those of you who didn't know, thank you to JT for pointing that out. Oops, double click, shouldn't have done that. But yeah, there's a little overground section. And whilst we're on the subject of Hublink, Felix Train also said the Victoria line is the only line to stop at Pimlico, because I mentioned in the video that the Victoria line has an interchange at every station, which of course I did incorrectly. But then, having said that, we have a station here that doesn't connect to anything either. So this is our Pimlico. And I did also say this in attempt number 1. I'd like to name this island, and with that I'd like to name all of these parts of the city. So if you have any ideas, excuse me, if you have any ideas for what these cities areas could be, districts, boroughs, what else would you call them? That's it really, isn't it? District, boroughs, and there's probably a third one, but I can't remember right now. Drop some suggestions in the comments section. See if we can split this city up a little bit. You can see there are some... Sorry, I must mention this as well. Yawning. I'm very, very tired at the moment. I'm very underslept. So you will have to excuse me with that one as well. It's not because I'm bored, it's just because I'm struggling to sleep at the moment. So we'll gloss over that. As I was saying, you can see there's some natural divides of the city. Like there's a line that sort of runs across here. There's another line you could say runs across here. And then there's the obvious lines like this one here. This one, less obvious, but I'd say that this area would be separate. And then there'll be a line that runs across this area as well. And then the islands will all be one area. Unless we count this bit as being independent and this bit as being independent. And in fact, let's see if it worked. I believe... Bloody hell, look how many lines we've got now. It's incredible. If I go... Actually, I don't have to go on that. I can go on this. Yes. I regioned the cities. So this island at the moment is unregioned, like most of this part of the city. And the way I've done it is city centres, blue. Built up areas, lots of people head in and out of there, so they're blue. Red areas are zone 2, as it were. And you can see they merge into one another. And that's fine, because if you go from one of these islands to the other, you're technically in the centre of the city still. The reason I chose this method rather than just a simple radial method is because if I was to plot the middle of the map, it would be... Let's have a look. There. And there's nothing there. There's no buildings there or anything. So it's not very good to do that. These green areas, you might be wondering what they are. These are the built-up rich areas. So you can see, if I zoom in, these are quite nice houses. They look expensive. They look very expensive. In fact, these ones need to be cleared out. But they look expensive, and they're suburban. So you got a lot of trains moving around, and that might cause a bit of noise. But in terms of the area itself, it's quite a rich neighbourhood. You see down here as well some nice houses. So City West and City East are green because they're very nice areas. You can see again, nice, expensive, big houses. And then these areas are left unregioned for now because they're industrial. Even these areas here, they're commercial buildings, but it's in an industrial area. And over here, there's some residential buildings here, but across the way, and it's all industrial. This part of the city is also left unmarked for now because I wouldn't say it was a rich area. There's a lot of tenements and apartment buildings. So it's a nice area, but I wouldn't say it was a rich area, if that makes sense. I'll try and say it less aggressively next time. Right, oh, and this area is industrial as well. You can see there's... I mean, this area is quite nice, but then it's right next to an industrial area. So I imagine, in terms of land value, that would decrease because of. What else was I talking about? There's a couple more comments, actually. Donvit2 said about Hublink, it's sort of like Crossrail. And yes, it is. I think I answered that one as well. There's a couple of these that I might have already answered, but it's hard to keep track of which ones I've answered and which ones I haven't sometimes. So you'll have to excuse me for that. Episode 109, which was the Hub Link tour. JT Transport again with a comment saying, I don't like custom metros. And I'd agree with you, apart from the fact the flexibility that it gives us in terms of Hub Link. Hub Link is the only line that runs on these tracks. Let me show you. Here, these tracks here that run all the way around, up here and the other way. Hub Link is the only the only line that runs on that track. The only time there's a junction is this area here, into and out of the depot. And I've made it like this so that it's not an issue. I mean, there's a bit of a queue here, but the line is long enough, and then there's these added extras here that stop it from being a problem. And I've upped the timetable as well, so that there'll be more trains running on the track, which means there'll be less trains in the depot, so trains should be able to just run straight into the depot. And it works. These trains work. You get a lot of flexibility in the capacity. It ranges anywhere from 75 to 140, depending on how many carriages you have. That train there, it's got 101, so it technically has a capacity of 202, and it's not maxed. The biggest train capacity that you could get as default is 120, rising to 240, and that's vanilla game. This is vanilla game. There's no rule sets or anything like that. There's DLC, but there's no rule sets added. And, you know, 120, 240, it's a lot of people, but 140, 280 is bigger. 40 more people. And when you're trying to make money, which is what we're doing right now, those 40 people make the world of difference. And you can see just the queue here to get into the depot. These have 114. These people. These trains, sorry. Not people. And this one coming in has a capacity of 114. So different times of day you can run different sized trains without having to buy different sized trains. You can just buy control cars, power cars, and passenger cars, and then mix and match to get what you want. And then that means that you can have large capacity systems using the cheapest style of train. You don't have to buy an expensive train that carries a lot of people. And in that way you save money. These are actually very cheap to buy. These control cars aren't that much more expensive than these buses, I want to say, but I might be wrong. The default buses, the red buses, the buses at the top of the list, they're 200, I believe. These control cars are 400. Let me look at the numbers instead of just guessing. How about that? So if I want to do control cars, we have the EcoBoost. They're 650. Now if I go to the bus depot, which is here, these are 400. So there's only a 250 difference. These hold 10 people, and the metro ones hold 10 as well. But because it's metro, it earns you more money anyway, because more people use metro. So you recoup your losses. And talking about recouping losses, there was something else that I pointed out in my video, which was very, very good advice for people out there who are playing the game and want to know about making money, losing money, things like that. And what I'm going to tell you now might sound counterproductive, but believe me, it is true. If I go on our profit loss, in fact, let me save my game first in case it crashes, because I've made some changes before I started recording, which I probably should have saved before I started recording, but there you go. Game crashes a lot now. It's very, I think I've overbuilt in some ways, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to push it to its absolute limit. But yeah, let's go in profit and loss. So you see the buses at the moment are losing us 17,000, let's say pounds, because I'm English. And there's probably people out there right now hammering the keyboard, screaming at me to get rid of the buses. They're not making me any money. You're wrong. They are making me money, just not directly. And what I mean by that is, let's choose an example. These houses here, they're only served by one line, and that's the Azure line. And there's only one person waiting there now. But say someone wanted to go from this house here, the one we've got selected, and they want to go to, let's say, this building here, which is served by the Carmine line and the Indigo line. How would they do that? Well, what they would do is they would walk to this bus stop. They could be this one person. They'll get on the Azure line. They'll then head over to here, the bus hub, where they'll get on a metro train, which will take them either to the hub or to another interchange point, and then from there they'll get on either the tram or the trolley, whatever it might be, and head to that skyscraper. Now the Azure line itself isn't profiting from that at all. We're not getting any money from that. But just because the bus stop is there, all these people are no longer using their cars. They're getting on the bus. And because of that, we're having less cars on the road. There's no cars in this area at all. Look, it's totally empty. Not a single car. It's a bit of a different story if you head over towards the city centre, especially if you get on the freeway that runs underneath the city centre. I really need to have a look at that and see if there's anything I can do to fix it. But around here, it's very quiet and tranquil. And it's not just because it's night time. It's because this area is pretty much fully covered by bus stops. So the Azure line itself makes us no money. Well, actually, the Azure line is an exception to the rule. That one does make us some money for this principle. But I imagine the Navy line makes us no money. Yeah, look, the Navy line is losing money. But I'm not going to get rid of it because it does take people to and from the boat. And the boat itself is where the money comes in. You can see we're making a profit on the boats. And especially things like the metro here and the monorail, we're making a lot of profit. And that's all because the buses are bringing people to these stations. And it means you haven't got to waste money building stations everywhere. So especially on the metro, there's a station, and the next one isn't until over here, because the buses fill the gaps. Monorail, slightly different story, but the monorail came first before I had the idea. That's why that's the case. But even then, we took these stops out here to encourage the growth of the buses, and also because we didn't need them, really. Not that many people were waiting for it to be a monorail stop. Whereas for a bus, 5 people, if you get the smallest type of bus, it's half full with 5 people. And that's a lot more advantageous for us. So there's your advice. Just because your buses or your trolleys or whatever it might be, just because they're losing money, doesn't mean they're failing. It just means that the money they would be making is going somewhere else. Look at that, 500 people waiting again. I did alter the timetable of this, actually. I just want to see if that still works. Yeah, it did work. Yeah, it did work. I could probably make this bigger. There we go. This should be that size as well. It isn't. Now it is. So these trains are going to be even bigger now than they were before. And again, I like that. I like having this flexibility that I can just go, do you know what? I want this to do... Okay, that won't work. I don't know what to do with this then, actually. I might just leave it as it is instead of messing around. But, it fills up. It takes people. And look how much money it's making us. So it works. It's a working system. No doubt about that. And these trains as well, and the monorail especially, is alleviated because of that. There are still a few people waiting here to head north-south and east-west, but a lot of them are now going to HubLink instead. And that's exactly what it was built for. Right, I think I answered all your comments. There was a couple of others saying, nice videos, enjoying the series, and I'm always keen to see those. You guys are the reason I make these videos. I enjoy making these videos because you enjoy watching them. So it does mean a lot to me when people say nice things about my videos. So I do appreciate that, guys. Thank you very, 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 very much for your positive comments. You spur me on, basically. The reason I'm sat here recording now, I could have just given up when all this stuff was happening. But the reason I'm sat here now recording is because of you guys. So thank you very much for your continued support, as always. We have a queue of trains again. I don't even know what that train's waiting for. Wherever it was waiting for, it's now cleared. I did actually say on take 1 of this that the hub was behaving itself, but now it seems it isn't. There was a bit of a queue. It's all to do with, it's this part here where it goes down to 2 tracks, and it has to go down to 2 tracks in order to be able to go into its separate tracks. And once the trains do separate, they start behaving themselves. It's the queue to get out of the hub, which is more of the problem, like now. That's where it causes the bottlenecks. Because trains are waiting for other trains before they can leave their platforms, and then there's a train behind that's waiting to get into the platform, like you can see here with this city shuttle train, and it just builds up, constantly builds up. And because they have to go down to 2 tracks here, it can't just be the outside track does these 2 platforms and so on, because then there'll be no way that you can get from the inside track to the outside track, which sort of defeats the point of having the outside track in the first place. Again, there's a queue. See, I thought that dropping some of the tracks below would help, but it doesn't, because the below section actually works fine. It's the top bit that's the problem. I think it's because the top bit I had is the stopping lines and the bottom I had is the express lines, but then there's certain tracks that can't access certain platforms, so you end up with this big mishmash of trains heading everywhere. It becomes quite confusing. This is definitely the biggest station I've ever built on this game. Definitely. And it's going to get bigger, because off camera, and it's going to be off camera, I'm going to be adding the other 2 south loop lines to go round clockwise. So that's going to cause a bit of a kerfuffle as well. I don't even know where the depot is going to go for that yet. It has to be north. It has to be up here still. That's if I don't just use the existing depot, that is. Which is that one. So I might just use that. We'll see. Anyway, guys, I think it is time to end this episode. So what's left for me to say is thank you very much again, guys, for watching. Thank you for your patience as well. It means a lot that you guys are asking me where the next episode is, because it means that you are still wanting to watch, which is fantastic for me. Hopefully you will understand in over the next couple of weeks if there are some lapses in me recording. I will do my best to try and keep the schedule. Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays I aim to keep to, but just bear with me if there is a day where there isn't an episode. There will be a reason for it. But thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you guys for your continued support. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed watching it, and until next time, I will see you soon.